Founder and CEO of Business Acumen Institute. Today, we're going to talk briefly about the importance of building business acumen for project management professionals. Business Acumen Institute is a global training and advisory services firm focusing on enhancing business acumen for project management people, IT people, HR people, and in fact, people who work in functions across any complex organization. I'm also the author of a book called the Business Acumen Handbook. Here's a quick link that you can pick up a copy. But let's get started. Here are a couple of perspectives I think are important for you to consider. Executives across companies and around the world want their project management people to develop a deeper understanding of the business. What does that mean? It means understanding perhaps the strategic impact or how a product in your company impacts the value delivered to a customer, or how what's going on inside of an operating department impacts the goals and strategies of the organization. It's critical for you to be able to develop that understanding. Now, mind you, some of you have that, but there's more to be gained. And your career will be greatly enhanced if you can deliver greater value to the organization. Now, the Project Management Institute has taken note of this, and their talent triangle has evolved. As you can note here, not only ways of working and power skills are important, but business acumen has become a powerfully important tool for talent development, which is why this is so important to you. Now, the question is, what is business acumen? And if you ask 20 different people what it is, you'll get 20 different answers. And the importance is having a constant definition. Again, having many, many different responses or definitions for one term can lead to a great deal of inconsistency. And inconsistency is the enemy of productivity. So, what is business acumen? Business acumen is a portfolio of skills, behaviors, and capabilities needed to support an organization in the achievement of its financial and strategic goals. This is a unique definition. I really want to point out one of the key words has to do with a portfolio. Now, if you think about an artist or an investor, they have things that are of value. Well, what are the things that you do, and what are the projects or the programs that you work on that enhance the value to the organization, your experience, your education, things like that? When you talk about skills and capabilities, those are things that you can do. And the more you do things, like any practitioner, will enable you to excel in your career. Think of this. Think about a doctor or a lawyer or a surgeon or even a pilot. They're all practitioners and they all get better over time with the experience, but they are cognizant of their professional development path and the opportunities to learn. And that's what's so critical about the role of a product manager. Now, there are a couple of things that I think are really important. Now, executives have been talking about this extensively. They want project managers to understand how the company makes money, like its business model. They want them to see the big picture, not only just the smaller pieces, but the larger picture of how things come together, because they want you to be able to connect the dots. What is cause and effect? When you see this, what does it mean, and what's the impact on the goals of the organization? So in order to build business acumen, we want to start with a blank canvas, just like an artist would start with a canvas. And the first perspective has to do with external points of view. This outside in perspective is vital for any successful business person. Think of it. If we don't understand the segments that our company is focusing on from a strategic point of view, the customers we serve, the competitors who we're up against, the industries or sectors where we operate, how we make our money, how we deliver value, how customers get products from us, or where we are situated globally or even nationally, that perspective is vital for us to develop those skills. If we just work on a project that's an internal project on an internal system without an understanding of why that particular project impacts a customer or helps us to be more competitive, then the project may not be worthwhile. It is part of our job to be able to do that. And we don't just look at these things in a vacuum. We have to develop the mindset, the way to think strategically of what could happen and how we anticipate. But thinking strategically requires that we work with people both inside and outside of the organization. This idea, this idea of mindset, think of the term here. It is a mental lens through which we see and interpret the world. It's how we simplify and categorize and make sense of a vast amount of information. But mindset and the external perspectives need to be knit together with core capabilities, what we learn, what we experience, the know-how we amass. And in the business acumen canvas, and to develop business acumen, we need to develop these 8 core capabilities: leading teams and influencing people, using processes to get work done, and of course, managing projects to achieve goals or understanding products and markets. But we also need to understand finance and financial analysis. We need to understand things like budgeting and planning and forecasting. How about formulating goals and strategies? Why is that important? Because we need to make sure that we're understanding why our company is doing what it's doing. Analyzing data, solving problems, and making decisions. Problems pop up all day long. Organizations are awash in data. How do we organize it so that we can figure out whether or not the work we do continues to be relevant and that we understand the purpose of the project that we're working on? And ultimately, assessing business performance. How are we doing? Now, the main idea here is we've got to be able to look at a massive amount of information. And sometimes we have to sort of pull ourselves back or sometimes zoom in on an area. This idea behind zooming in means let's study an area where we're going to talk about strategy. We'll talk about customer analysis, whatever those areas might be. Then we pull ourselves back to see how are all these things connected. That's how we connect the dots, zooming in and zooming out. So what I hope that you'll be able to do is start your career journey or find a place to continue it by taking a business acumen self-assessment for project managers. The link here is right on the screen, where there's a self-paced online course. There are corporate classes that we would love to work with your company on, or even our open enrollment public classes. Anyway, I hope you'll take advantage of this as a beginning of a learning opportunity for you to continue to expand and improve your business acumen as a project manager.